I'd like to greet everyone today, all human beings, with the universal greetings of peace, and the blessings of God be upon all of you. And no matter what your race, no matter what your color, no matter what your philosophical, theological, political views may be, you have that right. You have not only a God-given right, but you have a First and 14th Amendment to believe and express whatever you want to express. Today is Thursday, January the 7th, 2016, and the time being 9:02 a.m. Central Time, or Charleston, Missouri time. This YouTube video today will be titled, Charleston, Missouri activist says, if the shoe fit, wear it. This would be part 3 of 3, also known as the final episode or the final chapter. I said episode because Les Gillespie used one of my YouTube videos when I said the final chapter. He used that in the courtroom and said that I even talked about the final chapter, trying to persuade the judge to think that I'm talking about I'm not going to take no more. I'm finna go on a shooting killing spree because I mentioned AK-47s and rocket launchers and hand grenades. It's 5,947 people, give or take, in this town. You would think if any of them took that as a threat, they would have been in the courtroom right along with them. But you know, that's one thing about white supremacists. They use black house slaves or sellout blacks to put them in the front, to make them to complain about what they call the rebellious slaves, or the slaves in the field, who they unjustly working. But you see, those of you that call me ignorant, stupid, Les Gillespie and his paid attorney, I don't know how many years or what law school she went to, all those individuals that came to court, it was meaningless. Solomon in the Bible said it's vanity of vanity. It was senseless, a waste of taxpayers' money. It was a frivolous complaint that cost the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the state of Missouri her time, money. It costed the honorable judge out of the 32nd Circuit in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, that the Supreme Court Justice had to send down here to the 33rd crooked, corrupted, racist circuit here in Charleston, Missouri, and Mississippi County, to send him down here to enforce the law, or to show them how the law is supposed to be enforced. But it was enforced. The law prevailed. Lester Gillespie and Suzanne Wesley, or all the king horses and all the king men, they couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together. He broke. He broke him down. The judge broke him down to the lowest denominator in a fraction. He showed him, you can't stop no person because you don't like him, because you don't like what he's saying, because he revealing your corruption. You can't stop him from coming to a public place. You can't stop him from expressing himself. You had him speaking for you at first. You used to say he was an activist. Now he's speaking about your corruption. He done found out about your corruption and speaking about you. Now he's not an activist anymore. You can't determine when a person is an activist and not an activist. How sad. I pray for you people that sat in that courtroom with him, especially you black people that sat up in there with him. Call yourself church people. Call yourself sanctified, saved, and filled with the Holy Ghost. sitting up there listening to him lying about me. I'm taking care of my 9 and 10-year-old daughters, soon to be 10 and 11. Been doing it by myself. Taking care of my 88-year-old, soon to be 89-year-old World War II veteran dad who grew up here in this town, who left in 1948 because he didn't want none of his children to be raised in this racist, cruel, unjust city in Charleston, Missouri. He didn't want us to go through that. But God sent me back. But anyway, now I want y'all to see something. Now, they study attacking me about something that a crooked chief of police, Bobby Hearns, who the only reason he the chief is because his family name. They dominate this town. Democrats. It don't make me a difference if you're a Democrat, Republican, Tea Party, or Independent. But when you crooked, you crooked. When you corrupt, you corrupt. When you unjust to all blacks, see, you just, the sellout blacks, they consider you just because you do anything that they want them to do, long as they don't bring that dope, gang banging, stabbing, shooting, and killing each other over there on your side of town. It's all right. Long as they accept you got a school district that only one school is in this town for each one of the levels. Long as you keep all white teachers and they don't complain about you not putting no black teachers, you satisfied with them. You'll never be satisfied with me. You see, now you ain't attacking all this gang banging, black on black crime, all these drug addict, alcoholics, drug dealers that Lester Gillespie got working at the Lincoln School up under the Suzanne Wesley banner. You ain't worried about that. You ain't worried about the fact the way he's misusing black people in the black community. 2 or 3 young females and males done came to me when he had them come to their house with a check with the Suzanne Wesley name on it and told them to go down to McLean's and cash this check and he'll give them half of it. They name on it. Tell me ain't nothing corrupt about that. We give him the benefit of doubt in 1998 when he did that voter fraud, giving the black alcoholics and drug addicts $1 to vote. He did that in the black community. He wouldn't dare go in the white community. They've been unhung him by now. They've been had a rope around his neck. You see, the black community is going to accept it because they think anything these white supremacists and these black sellout leaders says is true. I showed you on December the 4th, 2015 at 1:30 p.m. Central Time or Charleston, Missouri time in the Mississippi County Courthouse, the 33rd Circuit here in Charleston, Missouri, when the Supreme Court Justice sent a just judge, a Republican down from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, to enforce the law. Why they had to go all the way to Jefferson City to the capital to get the Supreme Court Justice of the state of Missouri to send a just judge down here to y'all territory because y'all been corrupt. Giving Lester the benefit of the doubt, he paying them people back then. But what is his excuse now? He's still doing the same thing, but a different method. But let me show you how they allow him to lie. By now, the prosecuting attorney should be prosecuting him for perjury on December the 4th of 2015 in the courtroom when we had that hearing. Lester Gillespie, Suzanne Wesley, all these neo-Nazis, NAACP, all these sellout blacks versus Raymond Ivey in a protection order, trying to keep me from a public place. But anyway, they ain't gonna try to prosecute him. You know why? Because he studied oppressing the black community. Wake up, y'all. Look and see what Lester Gillespie, the NAACP, all these black organizations, all these white leaders and black leaders, what is they really doing? See, tell me one that's fighting against civil rights violations. Unjust treatment in the schools toward blacks. Unjust treatment towards blacks in the courtroom, in the courthouse. Unjust treatment against blacks in the police department. Unjust treatment towards blacks in City Hall. And on some of these jobs. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing at all. All they doing is getting that federal government money. But see, the federal government's watching them in Washington and Jefferson City. Washington and St. Louis. Can't go to Jefferson City because Bobby Hearns and some of these sellout blacks and these white supremacists, they dominate just about Jefferson City. But let me tell you this here. Look at all the attacks they said they attacking me when all this other crime happening in this town. 16, 17 years ago, Bobby Hearns come in my house, unjustified, no warrant, and take me out of my house. Looked at the police reports. Percy Owens come in my house, take my 2 children and give them to their drug addict mother. No justifiable cause. My daughter arm broke. Ain't nobody did nothing. Ain't nobody paid for it yet. And they seeing a psychologist to this very day. After I complained about what the school bus driver did, what did they do? They come to my house. I complained about the school bus driver February of 2012. January of 2013, the 17th, they come into my house saying I'm doing something to my children. That failed. January the 18th, they come again. That failed. They threatened my video man, Buck Whitney, on May the 19th, Percy Owens. Why ain't none of them being prosecuted?